Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you are a returning viewer. My name is Diamond, aka Lady Leo, and today I wanted to have some fun. I haven't done a part of the collection in a while, and I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more specialized and feature magnetics, which I have grown to love over the years. So we're going to be swatching parts from two different brands, two different collections. So we have 3 polishes from Lacquer, and then we're going to be doing 4 from Mooncat. Mooncat is the Pandora collection, and I think Lacquer is like the dark arts collection. So I saw all of these, and I just really love magnetics these days. So I figured I would give them a try and see what they look like. So just to kind of clarify how I'm going to be swatching, I'll be swatching 2 different fingers so that you can see what it looks like under one coat of black, and then you can see what it is just on its own. You can do a couple different things when you magnetize. I personally, like if I'm just painting my nails, I like to do one coat black because it kind of minimizes the amount of times you need to magnetize the polish, but you're also welcome to wear it unmagnetized as well. So let's get started with our first polish from Lacquer. First up, we have True Blood, which is described as being a deep ruby polish with an apple red pigment and a magnetic finish. So for this one, I think even though I did, like I said, I did over one coat black and I did it on its own, I think because of the shade, you really can't tell that big of a difference over black. If anything, I actually feel like you lose the magnetization, like even though I magnetized it after each coat, you really can't tell. So I think this particular shade looks best on its own because when you magnetize it, it's a little bit more subtle. You know what I mean? Like it's not a contrasting color since they're using a sort of red copper magnetization, but you can see it more after I magnetize it the second time, but I do think it's better just kind of like on its own. But this is True Blood. All right, moving on to our next shade. Next up is Brujita. So this is a deep purple polish with lavender pigment and a magnetic finish. I like the base color, and I like the magnetic pigment that they chose because I think it provides like a really nice contrast. Like the magnetic pigment almost gives away like a soft pink, which is a really nice contrast to the purple color in and of itself. So between the two, I tend to like doing magnetics over black because again, you get to cheat in terms of like how many times you have to magnetize it. But I also think a lot of times with like the darker magnetic polishes, it does tend to make it a little bit more dynamic. So I have the comparison here so you can see the 2 nails. I like both, but I do like it over black more. I think it gives you a little bit more depth, and the sort of magnetic pigment almost looks like a scattered hollow taco as well, so that's really pretty. All right, moving on to our last Lacquer, we have Something Wicked. Also, I might have misspoke and said that this is part of the Dark Arts bundle. I know Dark Arts is a magnetic shade, but I think it's called Books of Hexes. Anyway, it's a bundle. Anyway, so this is Something Wicked. This is described as being a deep forest green polish with a golden green pigment, obviously in a magnetic finish. So for this one, I love greens. I don't really know why greens are not more universally loved, but I really do think this is a beautiful shade of green. And I think just having it over the black just gives it a lot more depth. But again, you can always wear it just like on its own. And then if you want, you can wear it unmagnetized. Sometimes I like to rock that too. So next, we're going to be moving on to our Mooncats. These are from their recently launched collection. So Pandora Unboxed, I believe, is the name of it. So first up we have, this is described as being a wine burgundy magnetic lacquer with a purple shimmer. I think that Mooncat makes some of the best magnetics in the business because their magnetics are usually very dynamic. They pick very contrasting colors so that when you magnetize them, you get that really stark difference. And this is no exception. When I saw they dropped the Pandora Unboxed, I really loved all the magnetic shades, so I picked them up. And it's too early to tell which one is my favorite, but I think this is absolutely gorgeous. It is so striking. I love the way that it looks magnetized, and honestly, I like both, but I'm biased. I like it over the black. Moving on to the next shade. So this is not technically part of the Pandora Unboxed. Sorry about that. I misspoke earlier. This is Nocture, which came from a collection that they dropped before Pandora Unboxed. I can't remember the name of it offhand. Okay, I just looked it up super quick. It's from the Fallen collection that was dropped right before Pandora unboxed. So this described as being a dusky, dark teal green magnetic polish with bronze flakies that has a copper orange magnetic stripe. I'm not sure if I'm getting like a dark teal out of this. I just kind of see black when I apply it, but that could just be me. I think this one is made much more dynamic by adding the flakies. And even though I usually like it over black, I do like seeing it just kind of on its own. So that's Nocture. Moving on to our next one. Next up, we have Curiosity's Trap. I think this is probably my favorite one. I knew when I saw this one, I thought it was so unique. And it is a blue magnetic lacquer with a micro gold flakies, and then it has a golden yellow magnetic stripe. So I just think this one is such an amazing contrasting color. Like on paper, I'm not sure if gold and like sapphire go together, but these mixed in together, it's such a beautiful combination. I just really love the way that Curiosity's Trap looks. And I really kind of like the way it looks unmagnetized too. Like when you first apply it, I love that way because it's such a different color when it's unmagnetized versus magnetized. And I like this over black or on its own. I think it's both. It's great both ways. Moving on to our last one, we have Forbidden Fruit. Oh man, all of the magnetics in the Pandora Unboxed collection were just exceptional. Last up, we have Forbidden Fruit. And I love this one. I say that about all of them. But so this one is a dark burgundy magnetic multichrome that has a color shift from green to yellow. So I think what I love about this one is that this is it's in a burgundy / plum base. You can definitely see that when you're watching the swatch like of just the polish on its own. But once you do a second coat to make it more opaque, the plum looks very much like black. So it's very subtle plum. And then having it over over one coat of black, I really love the way that it looks. It just makes it look super dynamic. And I think these two look very similar to each other, but again, I tend to like it over one coat black because I have one less magnetization I have to do. So those are all of the polishes, and we're going to do some comparisons here so you can take a look. You can see how they all look up next to each other. And that being said, do you guys have a favorite? Have you picked up any of these? For me, I love all of these, which is why I picked them up and instead of getting the whole collection. But if I did have to pick a top 2 out of this 7, I would pick Curiosity's Trap. And then I'm really surprised at how much I love the way Forbidden Fruit looks over black. So maybe Forbidden Fruit is my second favorite because it kind of reminds me of deep space, and I love space. So those are my top 2 favorites, but I do love all of these, by the way. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these and whether or not you picked up any. Like, comment, subscribe. That's my time. Bye.